What you call a jailbreak. Hey, you know, you want to talk about a big guy. Look at this guy, Farkas. He'll be in there later to help on that pass protection. Here's a guy who's 6'9"
and an 8,
weighs 370 pounds.
On the other side
is John Kirksey. He weighs 350 pounds, and he plays defense. Farkas plays offense. And I would like to see Farkas go against Kirksey, and I think we will see that in the fourth quarter.
Kirksey is not 6'9".
No, but he weighs 350.
Sean Moore. Up dancing. Pass complete to Barry Rose. Sean Moore still the quarterback for Denver.
Yeah, we got Farkas in there anyway. I mean, now you're going to have some blocking when you have big Farkas in there.
You're talking about big. That guy's big.
370 pounds. I mean, just you say, well, he can't move well, maybe, but I mean, to get around him is going to be, you know, an all-day outing. He blocks pretty well.
Yeah. Well. We were asking Wade Phillips about him last night. He said he came from Appalachian College. There he is. Let's watch him.
Well, just watch here. I mean, a tackle has to have good balance. I mean, it's all about keeping that inside foot up and having good balance. You'll get your hands on the guy and keeping him away from you. And again, Farkas does pretty good there.
Yes, he does.
I mean, you know, he can move
good
those
footwork.
feet. You have to be able to do that. Then he has long arms. And again, at 370 pounds, no one's going to run through you.
And 6'9", 1/8. Ricochet, flag on the play. Barry Rose is the intended receiver.
See, what they're going to do is run around him, or try and run around him and not even touch him. That's the way to play against a guy like him, is just get outside and get around him.
And he didn't stay in college as long as he should have, because he just couldn't stop dipping.
You know, the thing is, you see here, he has good movement there, but he can't get his feet. So anytime a guy gets in trouble with his feet, he'll stick a hand out. See, his feet are in bad position, so he has to reach out there and grab them. You can't do that. Your feet have to get you in your position. Usually that happens to a young guy and an old guy.
Moore back to throw. Overthrow intended for Carswell. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. Second down and 10. A long look at Moore. Fires complete. This is to Cedric Tillman.
Oh, Farkas picked up a stunt on that one. That's pretty good. Now, what happens if this guy goes inside? That means another guy's going to get him. So this guy takes the guy coming inside, and then if you're Farkas, you take the guy that's coming outside. Now watch, you pass him off. Don't, boom, he goes in, then you take that guy, and you just hit him with your whole load, and then when he starts to spin, you just fall on him. Where's the guy going to go when Farkas falls on you?
He's going to start digging. Incomplete. Intended for Rose again.
About the Broncos, they always have a lot of wide receivers. Jerry Rice, you're talking about a guy who looks like he wants to go home.
Yeah.
Isn't that Jerry Rice? Doesn't he look like he wants to go home? You ever see people like
fireplace he wants? Yeah.
Like you're outside and they get that look. I mean, I don't, you know, it doesn't make any difference what they say, but they get, and they're always kind of bouncing and stuff. Their hands in their pockets, they're hunched over. It means they want to go home.
Here's Moore back to throw. Almost. Does get rid of it. Rivers was the intended receiver.
You know, one thing I like about preseason football at Candlestick Park is it feels like football weather. You know, if you want some, I mean, there's other places I mean, they got humidity at 110 and this and that. I mean, you come here, you got the jackets, the parkas, you know, I mean, it feels like, you know, this is good hitting weather. I mean, this is hitting weather. Look at these guys. I mean, people, you got to bundle up to go to the ball game.
That's bundling, cuddling weather too.
That's what you need. You need I mean, a good football game goes with bundling up.
On third down, flag on the play. Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate producer is Michael Frank.
Number 86 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
The Dockers halftime report was produced by Roy Hamilton, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. 3rd and 15. .906 left to play in the fourth quarter. 20-3 San Francisco. Behind the intended receiver, Jeff Campbell.
You know, as an old lineman and an old line coach and all that stuff, I kind of like Kevin Farkas. I really do. I mean, he's not, I mean, at 370 pounds, this guy can move, and he's playing the toughest position there is. But see how he helps here on a stunt. And when he puts his shoulder in there, the guy just goes the other way. I mean, there's no more pass rush there. Look at how Sean Moore could just go out to the left. There's no rush at all. And if you get a 370-pound guy with a little feet, you know, he can play in this league.
You ever coach a 370-pound guy?
Not that I know of. Not that the guy would admit to. I've never met anyone, period, that would admit to 370.
Me either. 20-3 in the fourth quarter at Candlestick.
Thanks for seeing me during lunch, Mr. Ross.
No problem. I'll make a cup of coffee.
Andy Farkas.
How would you like to be the bench?
I would like to be the bench.
Here comes Farkas. Look at that bench is bending.
Yeah.
But I think he can play. I mean, I'm serious. I kind of like him.
And if he wants to.
Yeah, because, you know, you always have to think of that as a coach. You know, when you have some of these guys and you think you're going to cut them, and someone always would say, who's going to tell them?
Steve Young.
Well, he's a different guy now, isn't he, Steve Young? I mean, he's so much more relaxed now than he used to be. I think he lived for years under Joe Montana and the backup to Joe Montana, and then Joe Montana leaving and the comparisons. And now I really feel
Ask Andy Farkas.
Did Kyle ever jumped over the moon?
No, I never believed that.
I think I did.
I think there's a man living up there. I believe that. Juggled and out of bounds. Hugh Millen is the quarterback.
Now we got the matchup that we've been looking for. I don't think they'll play against each other, but there's John Kirksey. He's a 350-pound free agent. Of course, we already know Farkas, who's a 370-pound rookie free agent. And you'd like to see him play against each other. But Kirksey is one of those guys who's a big, strong guy, is going to play inside and is explosive. And you see that. I mean, when he starts that stuff going, stuff's going to go backwards. And that stuff's going to be guards and centers and quarterbacks. In fact, I think he hurt Hugh Millen on that play.
He did, yes. 20-3. Hugh Millen back at quarterback was not hurt that badly. So he will stay. Now there's a load on those shoes too.
And that load on those shoes was the guy that hit Hugh Millen.
Kirksey.
Center and just put everything back there in that backfield.
Pass is caught. Juggled for a moment, but handled by Barry Rose. Kirksey and Farkas.
Let's watch him here. You just watch Kirksey there again. He has that good strength to get that push in the middle. Farkas is getting his guy to the outside.
Rose again makes the reception from Millen. A flag on the play, I believe. Yes.
I think the Broncos use a lot of wide receivers, so they're going to keep a lot of wide receivers. And one of the guys that they've been talking about is Rose. And there are some guys that just have a feel, just know how to play.
Just know how to get open.
Yeah, and every time they get in the game, they just do something. And Rose is that kind of player.
Like when he talked about him, when Wade Phillips talked about him, you were talking about George Seifert's face lighting up. That's what happened when he started talking about Rose. Just something happens. Millen from the shotgun. Incomplete.
See, one thing about Kirksey, Pat, when he gets in there, he pushes the pile backwards. I mean, he's not going to be a great pass rusher. He'll be, if he makes the team. He's kind of a local guy from Sacramento State. Been at training camp a year ago, but he's going to push that pile in the middle. But and that can help if you have an outside rusher.
With those short drops that they're taking, that becomes more and more of a factor.
Right, and if they want to take 3 drops and you have a 350-pound guy like Kirksey or anyone just getting a couple steps of push in the middle, it's tough.
Bruin's kick bounces in favor of the Broncos out to about the 48, where the 49ers will take over. 20-3, San Francisco. Chombe right there.
There's Big Farkas. He's talking about his move. See, as a left tackle, you want to get your right hand across. It's always your inside hand that goes across. What Deion Sanders was talking to Steve Young about. And I wonder why Deion Sanders is on the 49ers sideline.
That, by the way, says prime time on his collar. Oh, he wanted one of those.
There's been a rumor that Deion Sanders would sign with the 49ers. Yeah. Everyone kind of denies it and says they won't, but I think you got to say something that the guy is here.
They never look at you when they deny it. Instead of, well, no.
They'd all love to have him. That's Brent Jones that he just shook hands with there.
That's the end of this engagement. 20-3. The 49ers prevail. Wade Phillips and George Seifert, neither with a coat on.
I think George Seifert feels a lot better about his team tonight than he did last week.
Let's go down to Terry and Howie and the group down on the field.
Let's gotta go in first and we'll bring him right back out.
Thank you, Pat. John.
This year. All right, boy, you're looking sharp, dude.
All right, back to you, Pat.
All right. Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long, who'll be handling the halftime and pregame chores along with Jimmy Johnson and James Brown when we get things rolling correctly. John Elway, who played briefly and made his exit. Maddox first. And then Sean Moore took his place on the 49er side of things. An exercise for them to get a good look at their new defensive unit. Formed admirably by the score of 20-3. They down the Denver Broncos. So next week, don't forget, we'll be in New Orleans. For John Madden and the entire Fox Sports broadcast crew, I'm Pat Summeral saying so long from Candlestick Park. Final score again, San Francisco 20, Denver 3. Next Friday night, John and I, as I said, will be down in New Orleans as the Saints host the Green Bay Packers. Live coverage begins coverage of the National Football League.
The 54,000 men and women who built this airline now own this airline. Come fly our friendly skies.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.